Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As I'm actually about to title today's video, we're here to rank all the playmaking badges and tiers in NBA 2K23. So I hope y'all enjoy. If you do, for to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff, and like always, try to one 2,000 likes. Now, as I said, in the finishing and defense badge tier list, in case you want to check that out too, feel free to, but like I said in those two, this is the early impressions list. It's going to be based off of, like I said, very, very early impressions, a little too early power rankings, so to say. But I know a lot of you guys are looking for the best badges to run, and I wanted to showcase this to you guys. And again, this is probably subject to change within at least the next month or so. I'm sure by season 2, we'll have a lot better of a grasp on some of the power of these badges. But like I said, for the don't knows, I'm going to be putting these in here. I actually only have one, and it's mismatch expert. I have no idea what the deal is with mismatch expert. I haven't seen very many small guards out there, whether it's rec, like 5v5 pro-am, 3v3 pro-am, or park. I haven't played stage. I haven't played like comp matchups or anything yet, so I haven't seen people utilizing mismatch expert super crazy. I don't know what it does. And you know, I was gonna say I know what it does. Obviously, it makes maybe like taller players play worse defense against a smaller guard. But to be fair, I don't know if that has to be off a switch like the badge says it is, or if it's literally just against taller players. I don't know what the height threshold is. So if any of you guys want a backseat badge tier in the comments of this video, feel free to leave your feedback on mismatch expert and what you think it does or what you know it does if you have experience with it, so that the comments can probably check it out and see what their thoughts are on it as well, in case anybody's looking for a little bit of advice or expertise with this badge. But anyway, moving along, like I said, we're going to get into this, so I hope you all enjoy. Alright, so skipping E tier, I don't think any badge is extremely bad as far as the playmaking. Special delivery is probably the only one that's really seen as bad, but even at that, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like, I used to try the wizard pass package for the flashy style and actually try flashy passing people with special delivery. It can boost your teammate's shot percentage of going in. This is also gonna help them make alley-oops as well, just in terms of the pass accuracy and placement of it. Not to mention, you can throw bounce lobs with this, which sometimes can be a detriment, to be completely honest with you, but overall, special delivery is a pretty bad playmaking badge. It belongs in the D tier or E tier for that matter. I took the F out because I wanted to put the don't know tier, obviously. So consider E tier the absolute worst and D tier just the step up from absolute worst. So this is definitely a bad badge, but if you are a habitual alley-oop thrower, I think special delivery is an okay thing to run. Like my boy Zeke actually runs this on a decent level at generally all times, and it benefits me because I catch a lot of alley-oops in this game. Alright, so into the C tier, we have a lot of badges right here. It's going to be Vice Grip, Bailout, Killer Combos, Needle Threader, Unpluckable, and Break Starter. So let's talk about some of the most, I would say, controversial ones with Unpluckable and Killer Combos. I think a lot of point guards will agree, Unpluckable feels very irrelevant this year. I would not suggest taking this off completely if you're the only ball handler on your team, but for that matter, people with gold Unpluckable are still getting pluck stealed like crazy with that Hall of Fame glove and 99 steal going absolutely nuts. Now, the counter argument to that is that if you don't have 99 ball handle and Hall of Fame Unpluckable, then why should Hall of Fame glove and 99 steal not work on you? I don't think it's as simple as that. Obviously, there needs to be more variable to that. I think it's a very bad way of thinking personally, but either way, Unpluckable seems to be very underpowered. I wouldn't put it in like D tier or E tier. There's no world that Unpluckable is literally useless, but it definitely does not seem to have the same effect as it used to. Killer Combos also is not really letting people chain as quickly as they would like, and it's really creating a problem for point guards out there. Like, these dudes are really spamming dribble moves in front of Locke's face and literally just getting plucked like crazy, whether it's stage, park, pro-am, whatever the case may be. I've seen it all, and I'm not gonna lie, these people need to adjust quite a bit. I will say that much. You cannot just spam dribble moves in front of that 99 steal dude's face. You have to have more offense in the court, more options, more people to throw the ball to, let them actually work out. And again, we're here talking about the stage adaptation and the lack there of it. But anyway, let's stay on track. As you can see, like we said, we already talked about the two ball handling, one with the Killer Combos and the Unpluckable. These seem to be by far the most nerfed ball handling badges in the game so far. Other than that though, we have Vice Grip as far as catching. I would say low-key the Break Starter and Vice Grip are definitely big man badges, where Vice Grip is going to help you protect the ball off a rebound. Break Starter is going to help you throw that ball off a rebound, obviously. So as far as bigs, go ahead and adjust this in your mentality. Obviously, the playmaking badges are a little bit of a tough one to judge because obviously for a point guard, you don't really want any break starter at all. Vice Grip, it doesn't seem to be quite as important as I thought it might be on a point guard. Like, my initial impression was that they call them fluke steals in the stage or pro-am, where pretty much if you grab the ball off an inbound as a PG, it has your player turn around essentially after catching that ball off the inbound. And when your player turned around last year, people would absolutely pluck the mess out of it. And not even pluck, it's like almost a bump steal sort of, where they just place their hand in the right area and it just pops that thing out. My impression was that vice grip would actually help that as a point guard, but they don't seem to be very good this year. So generally, you're not going to deal with an issue like that very much at all, if we're being completely honest. So vice grip doesn't really need to be ran as a point guard. This is definitely a big man badge, same with break starter. If you are a big, it's probably more of a B tier. Maybe even if you're a big man that has absolutely nothing but pass accuracy, just obviously take that into account with this list. If you can't put anything on, like clamp breaker, obviously no ankle breaker, if you can't even put on hyperdrive, if you can't put on quick first step, handles for days, then obviously you know what badges are good for you, okay? So don't take this too to heart if you're a center. I'm just ranking the power of these badges, and I don't think break starter is as good as it should be for doing its job. I don't feel like when I've used it on silver or gold on my build that it's done extremely crazy things, personally. Same with vice grip, it still protects you, but I don't think it's like such a detriment thing to not have. I don't get super plucked. Not to mention, if you're playing Pro-Am and people keep spamming the steal on you anyway, you're gonna get that transition take foul regardless. So honestly, it's something that people don't do that often. So again, the need of the badge or the power of it in general doesn't seem to be something extremely crazy. Same with needle threader. I want to say initially I thought this was a badge that was creating those stuns on the passes. The more I've looked into it or asked around in the community or seen clips from other people, it does seem that those stuns are just random, or more so based on where you are as a defender and where your placement is. So it doesn't seem to be tied to needle threader. I wish it was though. That would make so much more sense if we're being completely honest. But either way, needle threader is still gonna be good for threading passes through like pick and roll situations, or maybe to the corner dots, whatever the case may be. It's still a mid-tier badge, 100%. Now, to talk about bailout, the other playmaking badge as far as the passing category goes, this one I have to say is tough because it's a very good badge to have. It's just, I've been so frustrated with the fact that I feel like every person I've played against is passing out of shots constantly and not getting penalized for it. And I promise you, there's no freaking way all of them have bailout. There's no way all these dudes who are running the triple ISO 6'8" in the 3v3 all have bailout. There's no freaking way. And if they do, then hey, more power to them. But like I said, I highly doubt that, and I still see everybody passing out of shots like crazy, or passing out of layups, passing out of dunk attempts, whatever the case may be. It's getting really frustrating. I wish you needed the badge to be able to perform stuff like this, but it does not seem to be the case. Either way though, having the badge obviously enhances your ability to do so, or the catching ability from your teammate to be able to receive that pass. Alright, so next up into the B tier, we have floor general, ankle breaker, clamp breaker, and then hyperdrive as well. I want to say hyperdrive is probably one of the most underrated badges in the game this year, in my opinion, especially with how much of the rim run ISO meta really is. And whether you like it or not, that's just the truth. I'm here to bring you the tier list and tell you what badges are good. Whether it's a fun or, you know, skill-based playstyle, in your opinion, that's not really what I care about. I'm here to tell you guys what actually is good. So hyperdrive, like I said, very underrated badge. Same with clamp breaker, as far as, once again, the ISO rim run meta. These two badges are really what makes that extremely usable, because clamp breaker will get you the blow bys, and then hyperdrive is what's giving you the speed when you are running downhill. Not to mention, the adrenaline gets burnt super crazy when you move horizontal, whereas when you do the downhill movements, it's really not getting burnt quite as much. So again, hyperdrive giving you really good speed on most of your dribble moves in general. As long as you're having a little bit of forward movement when you're dribbling, literally, it's good enough to activate this badge. And then same with clamp breaker. Like I said, it's really good for just getting the blow-bys, getting people off of you as far as getting the bumps and stuff. Now don't get me wrong, if someone's walling off your side completely, clamp breaker is not going to save you. But if they're playing you straight up, right on top of your head, pretty much, and just playing straight on you and not really giving you one way super hard either which way, you can generally use clamp breaker to just blow by them, I would assume, in most situations, especially if they're not an elite defender with like Hall of Fame clamps, which you need 97 prim D for, and in that case that is a pure lock 100%. So anyway, as far as ankle breaker, this actually is activating quite a bit for people, especially the fact that it's a tier 1 for nearly every single build, and Hall of Fame ankle breaker is definitely giving some people some problems. I will say I was sleeping on this badge a little bit. I put ankle braces a little bit low in the list, but that's because low-key not many people are running ankle breaker. I feel like this is a really slept on thing that a lot of people see as only an entertaining sort of badge, whereas low-key, if you put someone on the ground or take them out of the play, it really does force that big man to step up to you 100% fully, and if that's the case, you get either a free pick and roll, or low-key the big man might be, like as in the backside defender, might be chilling way too far back, and at that point, if you drop your own guy, you get a free three-pointer off that. So ankle breaker is definitely slept on. I feel like not many people are running it, like I said, but either way, it is creating open shots for you 100%. I recommend for people to at least try it on like bronze, silver-ish if you are very skeptical of it. See if it pops off, see what animations you can get with it. And again, it's very, very cheap at the Hall of Fame level even. Generally, it's going to be tier 1 for everybody, so only 4 badge points to run on Hall of Fame. I highly advise you to at least try it. And again, I don't think ankle breakers are an extremely skill-based thing. It's very random, very RNG, and just kind of, you know, you get put on the ground and it could be permanently. You could just get completely taken out of a play, same way like a brick wall does. But anyway, moving along to the floor general, this is obviously a very easy to explain badge. It's going to be every level that you have of it, from bronze to silver to gold to Hall of Fame is going to give you +1 to all your teammates' ratings. So if you have it on bronze, it's gonna be boosting their three-pointer, ball handle, dunk, all that stuff by +1. Same and so forth for the silver, gold, and Hall of Fame. And if you can get Hall of Fame floor general, that is crazy first and foremost. And for my Ben Simmons build, this is a badge that actually does kind of go hard if you're trying to play like a little bit more of a role player. So if you have really good pass accuracy, yet you want to play like a little bit of a role player, maybe if you're a center or a big man who decided to go really high on their pass accuracy, this floor general can help your teammates a ton, especially if you're an inside big man too, and you're the one that doesn't really need your 3-point ratings boost or anything like that. You could help your teammates with their threes, and it does go a long way. I know this is a badge that doesn't get thanked enough, especially with randoms. They may, like, it doesn't show up as far as like what you do, and low-key it probably boosts your teammates' egos in the rec and stuff too if you have floor general on, because again, you're not going to shine with this, but your teammates will. So if you're the true team player, floor general is still a very good badge. It's something that everybody's going to have to at least have one dude of on like probably a silver or gold level for Team Pro-Am. You're tripping if you don't, personally. But anyway, moving along to the A tier. Alright, so we have the 2 passing badges in the A with post playmaker and dimer, and then we have the 2 dribbling badges in the S with handles for days and quick first steps. So we'll just talk A tier and then go to S after that. So what makes me put post playmaker in the A tier, it's based off of gameplay. Point guards are struggling to shoot the ball extremely bad, and with that, if you have an inside center or someone who's crashing offensive rebounds extremely hard, it's going to be really good for the kickouts. Like generally, if you're an elite offensive rebounder, I'm sure you've seen it, where 2 people try and crash off the board, like, and they'll leave one of your teammates wide open in pursuit of getting that defensive rebound for them, whereas you are the offensive rebounder. And when you grab that O board and you have a free kick out to your teammate, this post playmaker is going crazy with that stuff. I'm telling you, not to mention if you are a post scorer, obviously it benefits you as well, but I'm mainly talking about the offensive rebound kick out sort of style. It goes a long way. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this. For the bigs especially, obviously, this is only a big man badge that I'm talking about, but it's so freaking good for bigs. If you can get this on a gold level or higher, I'm telling you, your point guards are going to shoot, and your locks, whatever the case may be, are going to shoot the lights out in comparison. Now again, this is a badge that goes unnoticed, but it will get you more assists is the other thing as well. So I think this is a pretty good badge to run, especially if you're in the rec as well as a dominant inside center. Post playmaker does go hard, man. I promise you. Put this on, your teammates can be shooting a lot better. I've had both of these on Hall of Fame on my Ben Simmons build, and I love it, bro. It's so just nice to be able to have your teammates greening at a high rate. And some people are probably thinking like, oh, these rec randoms you're playing with are really good. Well, mind you, I'm putting 8 playmaking badges into passing, and not even passing as far as like speeding it up or needle thread to avoid turnovers. I'm talking to help my teammates make shots, just in general. So chaining off of that post playmaker, we have dimer, where this is the open court version of exactly what I just talked about. So if you are a little bit more of an ISO or a pick and roll point guard or something like that, or you're just a play initiator, dimer is extremely good to have. Same with if you're just the guy that brings the ball up the court. You could just really hit someone down court and boost their ability to make a shot. You could even dump it down to the big man, and as long as he goes up pretty quickly with it, it's boosting his ability to make the shot. Doesn't matter where it's from, and obviously both of these, like I said, are tier 1 badges. That's what's the most ridiculous about it. It's so cheap and affordable for most builds. Now, to be fair, I think for bigs, it may be low-key a higher tier badge, but for any guards or forwards, these are both tier 1s. All right, then lastly, onto the S tier, we have handles for days and quick first step. Handles for days for obvious reasons. Stamina does drain pretty quickly, especially after adrenaline is gone. For that matter, though, once adrenaline is gone, a point guard's pretty much done. I mean, that dude is pretty much dead, if we're being real, after that, and it gets really gruesome. But again, to be able to conserve the stamina is extremely good. Obviously, it's going to make your jump shot harder if you're low on stamina. It does appear as well that if you try and get one of those quick drops to pop off with low stamina, it just isn't activating. And that's a really good thing. And if you ask me, I think it's really good that people can't just resort to a rim run quick drop as their bailout for the end of the shot clock. I've seen a lot of chase down blocks performed in those situations where people just expect that they're going to be able to get it at a super high rate. But anyway, again, handles for days, pretty self-explanatory as far as the fact that it saves stamina. I don't think it really needs that much more explanation. Quick first step, obviously, is going to be tied to any of those like bursting, speed boosting animations that you do. Really anything explosive. I mean, with these two badges, I think they're so self-explanatory and they're so obviously in the S tier that it's so necessary from any point guard or ball handler type build. Now, I will say, low-key, for me, on my slasher build, like my Ben Simmons one, I don't run any handles for days and I don't run any unpluckable because I feel like my dribble style is very not needing of either of these, and I feel like I can utilize it in different ways, like for instance with my passing with Dimer and post playmaker, or again for instance with my slashing with clamp breaker and hyperdrive. I feel like it's not necessary for me to run things like killer combos, unpluckable, and then handles for days, whereas a lot of outside point guards or people that work around screens would definitely disagree and they think they need all three of these badges right here. So this is not me being biased either. I'm just telling you guys, I think things like killer combos and unpluckable, they're not very overpowered. They're not very good power to the badge, whereas things like these are extremely good power, but for my own personal preference and my playstyle, I don't think I need handles for days, whereas this benefits me a lot better to run these two types of badges. But anyway, again, just understand, I am never going into these lists in a biased perspective to only talk about my playstyle. I'm trying to just utilize the power of the badge and how good it actually is at what you want it to do. That's really what this is always all about. So again, for anybody that has any feedback as far as mismatch expert goes, feel free to leave that in the comments as well. If you made it to the end of the video, put play in the comments to show sportsman all the way through, or put pass in the comments if you would like to do that instead to show sportsman all the way through. But anyway, other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. Like always, try to submit 2,000 likes. And hey, like I said, shooting is coming tomorrow. If you want to check out the finishing or defense ones, we already have that posted. Let me know in the comments too if you want to see takeovers or takeover perks for the tier list as well. We'll keep doing one of these a day as long as you guys really like to see them. They're doing really good on the channel as well, so I'm sure you guys are enjoying these. And again, they are subject to change. This is the early impressions video, season 1. So I'm sure they are subject to change or any patches that maybe happen within the next 40 days, 30 days, something like that. So anyway, just stay tuned. We'll obviously update you guys with any information, with any of the uploads that we're going to do, but also for the next season as far as these. But anyway, that's all vid. Hope you all enjoyed. Take these, man. Peace.